I want to welcome you all to the Ryerson campus, and I want to welcome you to Social Justice Week. We have a whole week of amazing events going on, so make sure you check them all out.
To the Anti-Poverty and Good Jobs for All rally.
This is our first Social Justice Week, and we've been working with all the campus groups like the Ryerson Faculty Association, Ryerson Students Union, OPSU, QP, all the unions groups, and the Aboriginal Student Services in coming up with a week chock full of activities. October 17th is the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty.
Living in a world of shame, poor people taking all the blame.
We call it wage theft, and wage theft push people into poverty.
We need good jobs in our community. That's going to bring us out of poverty.
And as we come together in the streets to take action, we become a living, breathing force for change.
Should every job be a job that pays a fair wage? A living wage? That's why we're here, the 99%. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Trish O'Brien.
We are the 99%.
I'm proud that our university has taken the lead in this social justice, and I tried to think to myself, how would I describe social justice? Because, you know, you could do Google whatever. All of us here and all of us on the street, whether it's Wall Street or whatever street, is hand in hand with them to bring about the types of changes that society so desperately needs.
It's really fitting that this is occurring tonight, and it's occurring at Ryerson, because in many regards the Ryerson mission relates directly to the idea of focusing on societal needs and community engagement.
And what is happening now with the protest movement is one of the most exhilarating phenomena of our times. The fact that it should coincide so exquisitely with Winnie Ng's Social Justice Week is not just fortuitous, it's divinely ordained. And I want to say to all of you that it would be really helpful and useful and appropriate to participate in the week fully, and to recognize that these struggles for social justice are global and local and never-ending. Thanks for having me.
Students on the ground every day are faced with local issues to kind of add a different flavor to it.
Ryerson has become the third university in Canada and the first in Ontario to pledge to go bottled water free.
If our starting place is social justice, we need to change the way in which academic institutions think of themselves and how they can play a role in moving this movement forward. Because we should not see ourselves on the sideline, we should see ourselves as part of the movement. And if we can use the power of those institutions to propel this movement, then we'll just get there faster.
I'd really like to welcome all of you to this afternoon's Lunch and Learn, focusing on labor issues for journalists working in today's environment.
But the fact is, there's a lot more demands on people now. You are here paying for an education to be in a profession. Respect yourself enough to demand that you be paid like a professional.
Nope.
Good afternoon and welcome to in a particular place and particular season.
So as many of us are settlers on this land, it is our collective responsibility to pay respect and recognize that this land is traditional territory of the Mississauga of the New Credit First Nations. And we are here because this land was occupied. In recognizing that this space occupies colonized First Nation territories and out of respect for the rights of Indigenous people, it is our collective responsibility to honor, protect, and sustain this land.
We have here an excellent panel of women who have intergenerational personal experiences of feminist organizing, over 30 years of experiences, some of them. And we'd like to engage this audience in an interactive discussion and dialogue with them.
You could be homeless, jobless, penniless, and no place to live. Or you could be right at the bottom called ground zero and just about to pull a phoenix out and recreate yourself out of the ashes of your life. And that's really what grassroots activism is about. It's about teaching people who believe they have nothing to find something in their life, in that moment, in that time, that won't stop them.
And I know that now we're in a much better position because we have better tools and better understanding on how to bring people together across difference and have all voices be heard.
It is not a struggle with just one agenda. It is multiple, and the minute that you get involved in one aspect of it, it unravels. You begin to see that your struggle is linked in so many different ways to a worldwide movement.
But it was my experiences of racism in the school system here, being called Packy, having my food made fun of, not having the money to go on school trips, and things like that, that gave me a profound sense that there was something really unfair about the system and the way it was structured.
And I think something really big is happening, and it's very, very global.
We didn't sign treaties with Manitoba or Ontario or Alberta, okay? We signed treaties nation to nation, state to state, all right? And as such, we need to have our negotiations over rights, over reparations of rights that have been violated, lands that have been decimated by development. All of that stuff has to happen at the highest level, but right now it doesn't. And many of the provincial governments, especially Alberta, don't recognize our treaty rights. They don't recognize our collective rights.
In keeping with our protocols, I'd first like to begin by acknowledging the ground that this university sits on, that we are on the traditional territories of the Mississaugas of New Credit First Nation. I lift up my hands in thanksgiving for our ability to be here.
We as Aboriginal people are indigenizing the country. We need to teach and coach others. They need to listen as we speak out. We're at the table of the United Nations now. So our problems have been heard. But now we need to state our positions, say what we value, talk to others about our worldviews. People need to stand with their hands open to receive our teachings. They may be ready now.
We now have an exploration company in our territory in a sacred burial site, exploring without our authorization, without our consent, without Ontario fulfilling its obligations to us to consult and accommodate us.
This event is called Music and Words on the Street, which is a cultural expression of our struggle for social justice and solidarity. And this is a concert that's part of our Social Justice Week that we've been working on with Ryerson Sam Gindin Chair.
Genius. Reincarnated religiously, seeing God's fault in their knees with disease.
Mama, when will there come a time for the sun to shine on your beautiful face and put all of the iniquity workers in a them place? Mama, I don't want to be ashamed, and you shouldn't be ashamed of being poor, cause it's not a crime. You have to know that in this your time, being poor is not a crime.